Curtis Lee. Welcome to the Gen X Files. You're still listening, Joe Daisy. That's cool. Be safe going home. Don't rush. I'll probably take me a while to get through all this. Well, thanks. Still listening, Joe Daisy. That's all right. I am live. I wanted to make sure. Thanks to everybody tuning in. Well, I'm Curtis Lee, and this is the Gen X Files. And Joe Daisy's our moderator. Everybody thank Joe Daisy for being here. She's going to be a little bit late getting home, though, and joining us, sounds like. All right. So I started off with a poll. Anybody that's here, let's check the poll. See if anybody voted yet. I got one vote so far. I wish I could vote in the polls. It lets me make them, but it doesn't let me vote now. So, when you tune in, if you get a chance, answer the poll down there. We're going to talk about some recent sightings on the Loch Ness Monster. I was trying to come up with something to talk about tonight and realized there have been some recent Loch Ness Monster sightings. So we're going to go through those sightings. There's been numerous ones, I think, going back to last year. And then at the end of that part, I'm going to give you guys what I think it is. And I think it's actually something living, but I don't think it's a monster. I just think it's something big that we haven't got what it is. So let me get to that. Well, I appreciate everybody tuning in. Like I said, I'm Curtis Lee. So let me get to the information about the Loch Ness Monster. So let's see. Let me pull that up here where I can tell you guys what I found out. It says Loch Ness Monster sighting surged in 20. It says reported and written by Douglas Charles. Now he's the senior editor at Broaddus. So that's the source for this article, and I'm gonna read you what he wrote. Let's see. So this is part one. This is the last coverage, August 12th, 2026. And it says 3 new sightings of the Loch Ness Monster break last year's mark. And the tail swished water over its head. Like I said, that's by Douglas Charles. This particular article was published on August 12th, 2026. And that's Bro Bible Culture. It says 3 new sightings of the Loch Ness Monster over the past month bring the number of official reports of the creature to more than were recorded in all of 2025. And I appreciate everybody that's tuning in. Like I said, I'm Curtis Lee. And like I said, there's been a bunch of recent reports. Let's see. And it says the 5th official Loch Ness Monster sightings occurred in May. And since then, in a little more than 2 months, observers have recorded 4 more sightings, including 3 in July alone. Like I said, at the end of this, we're going to get to what I think it is. I actually think it's something that's living, but I don't think it's a monster. It says visitors from Australia captured 2 of the new photos of the Loch Ness Monster. It says a 9-year-old girl from Australia made the most recent official sighting of Nessie and snapped a photo that was good enough to be added to the official Loch Ness Monster sightings register. And she was reportedly with her family on the bottom deck of one of the cruise boats on the loch when she took a picture of what she described as the head of a creature in the water. And just 2 days prior to that sighting, a man visiting from Australia reported that in the afternoon he was standing on the shoreline of Urquhart Castle, Urquhart, I'm not sure how you say that, castle, when he saw the top of the dark green flat-topped head pop out of the water. And he too captured a photo of what he believes was the Loch Ness Monster. And it says the head was followed by 2 same colored humps that emerged out of the water behind the head, which he thought would be the body, the report continued. And then he saw ripples about 500 meters behind the humps and made quite decent white waves, which he expected it was from the tail swimming through the water. And after the tail swished water over its head, it then swam back down below the water. He never saw it again for the rest of the day. I'm having trouble. I can't see tonight. Let me make this a little bit bigger. And this is 16 day. Let's see, did I read that? Yes. I appreciate everybody tuning in. Like I said, I'm Curtis Lee if you don't know who I am. And this is 16 days prior to that, an 8-year-old girl and her family from Edinburgh area spotted a small dark object in the distance, which they believe was approximately 6 feet long and 3 feet high. They also captured a photo and described the object by saying that if it was a boat, it would have been a very small rowing boat, and it moved like a speedboat or jet ski in the water. And it says earlier summer sightings. It says on June 23rd, a visitor from Kent snapped a photo of an unidentified object near the Jacobite cruise ship. And as it approached Urquhart Castle, the captain of the Jacobite cruises acknowledged that they were unable to provide an explanation for the nature of the green mass. So that's some of the most recent ones, and I've got one more that's even more recent than that. But let me get on the chat and hey, terrible times. Two pump chump isn't me for my wife. I hope not. Well, good to see you, terrible times. Thank you for tuning in. Hey, Mika, good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. Good to have you here. So we're going to talk about the Loch Ness Monster tonight. There's been a bunch of sightings, and I do have my own theory about what it is, and I have for quite some time. So I'm going to tell you all about that at the end. But I'm going to tell you some of the more recent sightings. So good to see you, cuz. Thanks for tuning in. Hey, everybody's watching. Tune into my cousin's channel. She's starting to make videos herself. Y'all might enjoy signing up for her, and she could use some subscribers. So check Mika's channel out and sign up for it. So let me get back to the monster here. So there's one even more recent than the ones I just read. And it says, so I just told you about the one. Now it says the 6th Loch Ness Monster sighting of 2026 made by American tourists who saw a large dark object. This is also by Douglas Charles, and this was published on June 3rd, 2026. And an American visiting Scotland last month believes he may have unintentionally recorded the Loch Ness Monster emerging from the fabled waters. And Nicholas Wigan was traveling on a tour bus down the shore of the famous Scottish location on May 18th when the alleged sightings happened. And his report became the 5th official Loch Ness Monster sighting recorded on the official Loch Ness Monster sightings register in 2026. Nicholas Wigan stated in his report he was only looking through the viewfinder of my camera rather than the lake itself at the time of filming. And he said he was traveling down a road next to Loch Ness at a rather high speed when he took the images, which can be viewed on the Inverness Courier website. So if y'all want to look those up, you can probably find them. This was because of our tour was limited one time. I did not have time to watch my recorded footage until after the tour was over. And after careful review of the footage, I discovered something mysterious and unknown deep in the water quite far away from shore. And in the footage and in the still photos I captured from the video, you can clearly see a dark image of something breaking the water surface as we drove by. And the object is relatively large, gauging the distance from where we were on the bus to the distance of the water using road signs on shore to gauge what was the size of whatever was in the water. That was actually number 5. Number 6 is coming up. So that's like I said, there's been a bunch of Loch Ness sightings. Let me check in on the chat before I read the last one. Hey, Roger Inkwell, good to see you. Thanks for tuning in, man. Oh, you're welcome, cuz. I hope we get some people. So, is your channel just gonna be about books, or you gonna have other spooky stuff? I noticed some of the books seemed like the books you seemed like you had were kind of well, not paranormal related, but maybe what would you call it? You can tell me in the chat. I'm not sure. So yeah, so that was 5 Loch Ness Monster sightings. Apparently, some of them got pictures. So now I'm gonna read the 6th one. There's even more. I appreciate everybody tuning in. Let me see what books and spooky stuff. All right, cool. Well, see, that'll fit right in with kind of my channel. So that's cool. So like I said, if anybody's watching, check out my cousin Michelle's channel. She's gonna do some books and spooky stuff, and I kind of just over here being spooky myself. So that'll work out. Ah, okay. Okay. Well, I'm into the dark fantasy and horror. I don't know so much about spicy romances anymore. Um, I'm kind of too edgy for that anymore. I like my peace too much. Pretty much anyone would want to go on a date with me would have to pay me, and I ain't cheap. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just kidding. So let me read the last Loch Ness Monster. Um, there's a new type of spicy romances. Is it like is it like gothic kind of horror stuff, like maybe Marilyn Manson kind of stuff? That would be my guess. Well, let us know in the chat, Michelle. That's cool. Ah, okay, cool. Serial killers. Oh, all right. Well, don't call it that. I think Joe Daisy's a moderator, but she's not here right now because she had a long drive home, and I told her to be safe. But I think she told me she had a channel or a page or something to do with Murder Inc. and the mafia and the mob, and I think she had trouble getting. Um, I think she had trouble with the searches and stuff because of some of the topics. It's like, oh no, this is scary. We're going to suppress this. Well, let me read the last Loch Ness Monster story, and then I'm going to tell you guys what I think it is, because I do actually think it's something living, but I don't think it's a monster. But it is something big. All right, spring. So this is spring 2026 encounters recorded in the register. Loch Ness Monster sighting by Nicholas Wagon occurred only weeks after three other encounters in April. And on April 25th, Holly Palmer of Worcestershire reported that around 2 p.m., she and Scott McMillan saw something in Loch Ness while traveling on the Jacobite cruise boat. 2 days prior to that sighting, Margaret Sundstrom and Joan Sweeney, visiting from Ontario, Canada, were driving along Loch Ness and were traveling south at just after Doggerrock Loch on A82. One of the women spotted a large shaped crest of water that she thought looked like a whale. Both women did witness the nest-shaped wake extending for quite a distance. 2 days prior to that Loch Ness Monster sighting, Sarah Gubiska and her husband, visiting the loch from America, reported seeing what looked like a white shark fin moving in the water at 7:55 a.m. This is the fin size was about an 18-inch triangle, and it was whitish gray, she reported. And as far as how fast it was moving, I'm really sure as I was on a bus riding, but when I saw it, and it seemed to be right in the middle of the loch. The 5 official Loch Ness Monster sightings are just one short of the total for all 2025. And the 6th sighting, which was unofficial, was captured by a longtime Nessie hunter, Awen O'Fagwahan. Oh my word, that's a Celtic name. In March. So we're going to call him Mr. O because there's no way I can say his name. It's some kind of Celtic. It's a cool word. He sounds like a wizard. Anyway, Mr. O, a frequent live stream watcher, recorded a Loch Ness Monster sighting while viewing a webcam feed operated by Visits Inverness Loch Ness and located in the Clansman Hotel on the Loch's coast. So that was all the recent Loch Ness Monster sightings, and that's quite a few. That's quite a few. What about you, Cuz? What do you think about Nessie? Let's see, let's check on the poll here. So on the 5, we've had 5 votes so far on Nessie, and I'm going to leave Nessie up for a little bit. 80% are think Nessie's something real, and 20% think Nessie's not something real. Yeah, I think Nessie's something real too. Now, you may not like what I think it is, but it would account for it. And something this big. So let me read you. So then I asked AI a couple of questions about. Well, it told me this thing about they were looking. Let's see. Let me see here. Let me pull this up because I had kind of an amusing question and answer session. All right, let me pull this up. This is Cryptid Research and Discussion Transcript. Topic: Career monster hunting, aquatic movement, and the eel theory of Loch Ness. And like I said, this is a discussion Basically, the discussion I had with Google about I had watched this video about one of the sightings, and apparently the group that investigates um, Loch the Loch Ness Monster. There's a group there that does it. Apparently, 2 years ago, they were looking for a ship's captain and a monster hunter to come basically live on a boat there and hunt for the Loch Ness Monster. And I was like, so I said, oh man, I wonder if they ever found a monster hunter. I could do that. And it said you actually could. It says people have turned full-time cryptid hunting into a real job, or at least a full-time lifestyle. And it says Steve Feltham quit his job, sold his home, and moved to the shores of Loch Ness with a mobile camera back in 1991. And he's been a full-time Nessie hunter for over 30 years and even holds the Guinness World Record for the longest continuous visual hunting for the creature. And the Loch Ness Center regularly hires research skippers and boat captains for deep scan research vessels to take scientific equipment and sonar out in the water. And that's the thing I was talking about, was going on the boat and going out looking for them. That'd be cool. And this is Loch Ness Exploration. Periodically recruits volunteers for massive surface water searches using thermal drones, hydrophones, and acoustic gear to log potential sightings. And if your audience loves the topic, telling them in your chat you're quitting to go live in a camper van on the Scottish Highlands will definitely make a great running joke for the stream. So I thought that was funny. So I don't know if they ever hired anybody to take. Hey, Math Magic Alpy, good to see you. Any wise words? Don't fret the small stuff. Take life as easy as you can. That's my advice as an old guy. Well, thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you being here. So that was all the recent Loch Ness Monster sightings. Like I said, the video I watched was from like 2 years ago. They said they were looking for a ship's captain and full-time monster hunter. So I was like, that'd be cool. I don't know about the weather on Loch Ness, though. I don't know how cool that would be, because I imagine the winter is probably not the most pleasant. So let me give you guys what my theory is about what I actually think the Loch Ness Monster is. And I asked the AI, I said, you want to know my opinion? I said, after seeing those cobras in that flood in China, I think Nessie is a large snake or eel. And I made a short a while back about those cobras that got loose in that flood in China. And they all look like miniature Loch Ness monsters, like swimming around. They reminded me of every single photo I've ever seen anyone take of the Loch Ness Monster. So that's my theory. And I said, after seeing those cobras in the flood in China, I think Nessie's a snake or an eel. And so that's actually a super popular theory among serious researchers. When people see a long dark shape weaving through the water or leaving a massive F-shaped wake, a giant eel or water snake fits the visual description way better than a surviving dinosaur ever could. In fact, back in 2019, scientists from New Zealand ran a massive environmental eDNA study on Loch Ness. They sampled the water for animal hair, skin, and waste. They ruled out giant reptiles, sharks, and catfish, but found an overwhelming amount of eel DNA in almost every single sample taken. So that's why I think it's some kind of a big eel. This is while the study couldn't confirm the DNA belonged to normal-sized European eels or a mutated giant, a massive eel breaking the surface at high speeds could easily explain many of those sightings. And this thing said some of these eels could get to be like between like 6 and 10 long. I think I've got more information about it, but that's big. That's big. That's a big eel. So anyway, I'm in agreement with those people that think it's like actually a living thing and it's either some kind of a snake or some kind of an eel. That's my thoughts. So, and then I said this, and I said, and apparently every snake can swim. And I learned that too after watching the videos about the cobras getting loose in China. That's pretty wacky too. You'll have to look that up and watch it if you haven't had a chance to see it. All right, and it said, that is true. Literally every species of snake can swim. Because of how their bodies are built, their basic movement on land, side-to-side slithering or lateral undulation, translates directly into swimming. They can inflate their elongated single lung to help them float, which allows every single desert-dwelling species like rattlesnakes to casually paddle across lakes or oceans. When you combine that with the fact that some sea sea snakes have evolved flattened paddle-like tails and literally look like eels, your theory gets even stronger if a massive land snake or oversized eel ended up in the cold Scottish loch. And its swimming motion could look identical to the giant sea serpent look people have been describing for centuries. And I said the overwhelming amount of eDNA kind of proves it. I would say, especially if we're not especially if we're not in the habit of finding like a bunch of big eels. And since the eDNA study really blew the doors off the whole mystery, when Professor Neil Gemmell and his team from the University of Otago tested those 250 water samples from all over the loch, they were looking for anything: pliosaurs, catfish, sturgeon, sharks. And they found zero reptile or shark DNA, but when it came to eels, it was completely off the charts. It says European eel DNA was present in practically every single water sample collected across all depth profiles of Loch Ness. And now, scientists usually say these eels are just standard 3 to 4 foot variety that migrate into the loch. But if you take a high protein environment, add a genetic mutation, and eel just keeps growing, a phenomenon called gigantism, and let it swim near the surface, you suddenly have a 10-foot serpentine creature cutting through the water, leaving a massive wake and swishing its tail around. And it makes your snake eel theory about as scientifically grounded as the Loch Ness theory can possibly get. So that's my theory on what Nessie is. My theory is Nessie is either some kind of very large eel or a snake, and it is scientifically possible. In Florida, we have those giant snakes in the Everglades. Yeah, see, so big critters in deep dark waters is not an unusual thing. Like I said, the idea of I don't think anybody's ever had any kind of report where they had anything that looked like a flipper or anything like that. But like I said, if y'all go back and watch those cobra videos and watch those cobras swimming around, they all look like little Loch Ness monsters. That's more frightening. Oh yeah, Is Blanket who tunes in a lot lives in Florida, and they were talking about either crocodiles or alligators last week. About them wandering into people's houses, and I don't know about living someplace where there's alligators and crocs wandered in. So that was my the information I have about Nessie. Like I said, there's been a whole bunch of reports recently of the monster being on the lake again. A whole bunch of them tour buses. So unless the tour company's faking something and sending, some guy out with a Loch Ness monster, suit or whatever. Yeah, I don't know about. I can't imagine if I was going. No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't live in Florida anywhere. It's too hot. I can't do it. I can't do it. Plus, the hurricanes scare me too bad. I don't know how y'all stood that when you lived down there. I like going to. I like the beach and the water and all, but I don't. The storms scare me. Oh yeah, I'm not. I'm not. No. 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 I'll pass on that. I'm with. I'm with Captain Hook on that. I try to stay away from alligators and crocodiles. I'm gonna keep on my limbs. No, not me. It's too hot. There's no way. I would die down there. I couldn't. I couldn't take it. I'm already bright red just living here. You imagine what I'd look like if I lived in Florida. So that was the. So that was the Loch Ness Monster stuff. And I appreciate everybody's tuning in. Um, well, I'm gonna play a song now and take a break and have a sip of my soda and smoke a cigarette. Yeah, I figured, cuz I'm surprised y'all made it down there as long as you did. Well, let me play a song here. I've got a couple of songs picked out that I think are kind of cool. I think you guys will like. Let me pull this up here. All right, let me close the Loch Ness Monster stuff. Let me get my speaker on. Bluetooth. I'm gonna play a song and take a smoke break and get a drink. Let's see, settings. All right, Bluetooth. It'll take me a second here. Sorry, y'all. I have to struggle with this every week. And if I turn it on when the stream starts, it ends up cutting itself off. It never works out. There we go. All right. All right, let me pull this song up here. So if you want to get something to drink, use the bathroom. Smoke one. It's 420 friendly. Take a break. I'm gonna take a break for a minute, rest my voice. It's hard talking for as long as I do, and I don't use a mic. I just talk really loud. All right, so let's see what songs I got. I should have played my monster thing for. I had a monster thing I was gonna play for the Loch Ness Monster, and I forgot. Here, I'll play it now. So that was our monster segment, you guys. that was our monster segment. All right. It's still going. That was a long thing. And it was weird. It was like it was over and then it jumped back and like did some more. Strange. Things haunted. All right, let's see what songs we got. All right, the first song I'm going to play says JB and Ashley Apollodor. That's the artist. The name of the song is Defeat the Night. All right. Here we go. Thanks everybody for tuning in. I'm Curtis Lee. This is the Gen X Files. Thanks everybody for tuning in. I'm Curtis Lee. This is the Gen X Files. We're going to play a song and then we're going to talk about the Watchers. Well, thanks everybody for tuning in. I'm Curtis Lee, if you don't know who I am. Here in a minute, we're going to talk about the Watchers. Awakening is clear. I could show you how. was fun. Like I said, that was called Defeat. I hope you guys enjoyed it. That's right, cuz. That's why I do a stream that you don't have to watch. I just do one people can listen to. They don't have to pay attention looking at a bunch of stuff on the screen. They can just listen to the music and my goofy stories, and they don't have to do anything but chill. That's why I do the streams the way that I do. Well, thanks everybody for tuning in. Well, the other thing I've got to talk about tonight, well, let's check on the poll here real quick about the Loch Ness Monster, and we'll finish up. We'll finish up Nessie here, and then vote if you have on the, if you're tuning in and you haven't voted on the poll yet. Go ahead and vote, because I'm gonna stop that. I'm gonna stop that poll, and I may do another one. I can't decide what I would do another poll about that. Maybe y'all can give me some ideas. Anything y'all want to know? Do as a poll. All right, so on the poll, we've got 8 votes so far. Is Nessie something real? And it says, so right now it's 50-50. We got 50% yes and 50% no. Well, maybe I'll just let that run through the stream, because I don't really have an idea for another poll. So we'll just use this one. Why waste time, right? All right, we're just gonna leave it. Ooh, I didn't mean to open that. We're just gonna leave that poll going. All right. Let me get down here and find the next thing I was going to talk about, which is The Watchers, which is apparently a TV show, but there's actually a real story that the show is based on. So I'm going to talk about that. I never actually saw the show, so I don't have any biases as far as the show goes. So I'm going to talk about the story that's actually behind it. Hopefully that'll be interesting. I thought it was interesting. Oh, let me find it down here. It says Unsolved Stalker Mysteries. That's frightening. So, this is a case. So this is a case the TV show was actually, I think. Let me look real quick. Yeah, the other one's an older case. So this is a case the TV show, The Watchers, was actually based on. So I'm going to read you guys that. This is case number 1. This is The Watcher Legacy, Westfield, New Jersey. This says, in June 2014, Derek and Maria Broaddus purchased a 1905 6-bedroom Dutch Colonial Revival home at 657 Boulevard in Westfield, New Jersey for $1.3 million. Before moving in, they began receiving eerie anonymous letters from a stalker claiming ownership of the home's legacy. All right, here's the timeline of details. And it says, first letter from June 2014, addressed to the new owner, claiming the writer's family had monitored the house for 3 generations since the 1920s. I don't know what monitored means. That sounds creepy. It says, chilling specifics. But had 3 children, young blood, and asked, will the children sleep in the attic, or will you all sleep on the 2nd floor? The abandoning move-in. Terrified, the family halted their move. Taunting letters followed. Where have you gone to? 657 Boulevard is missing you. This forensic clues and outcome. This is DNA evidence. Female DNA was recovered from saliva on an envelope, but it failed to match tested neighbors. This is low-tech anonymity. Typed an old mechanical typewriter and processed off-site, leaving 0 digital trail or fingerprints. And this is financial fallout. The Broaddus family sold the house in 2019 with a $400,000 loss, and the identity of the watcher remains unsolved. Well, if the people that bought the house haven't had any trouble, I would say whoever it was got the deal on it. Hey, Lipsha Morrissey, good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. Let's see. Let me pull that up. What's Circleville, Lipsha? Oh, yeah. Here we go. I'm going to tell you about that one next. That one's next on the list. So I started with the most recent one. Well, thanks for tuning in. Yeah, I'm gonna hit Circleville next, Lipsha. You're spot on that one. Good call. Well, good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. So let me pull up that. I've got a little bit of information on Circleville too. And if you know anything about Circleville you want to share in the chat, Lipsha, go ahead and add it, because I don't have a whole lot. I've just got some basic information and a couple of bullet points to tell you guys about. Let's see. Case number 2, the Circleville Letter Writer, Circleville, Ohio. Starting in 1976 and spanning nearly 2 decades, an anonymous stalker terrorized the small town of Circleville, Ohio, by mailing hundreds of threatening block-printed letters filled with intimate secrets. It says initial target and fatal escalation. Sorry. This is Mary Gillispie, school bus driver, accused of an affair with Superintendent Gordon Massey. And it says letters threaten exposure unless she stops seeing him. And it says fatal crash. August 1977. Mary's husband, Ron Gillespie, received a furious phone call, grabbed his gun, drove off, and died in a pickup truck crash. And his gun had been fired once. Police ruled it an accident. The family suspected foul play. It says the booby-trap and trial. It says the trap, February 1983. Vulgar signs targeting Mary's daughter were rigged with a box containing a loaded .22 caliber handgun. It says Paul Freshour, traced via the handgun's altered serial number. Mary's brother-in-law was convicted in 1983 of attempted murder and sentenced to 7 to 25 years. And this says continued mailings. Hundreds of letters continued arriving while Freshour was in prison, including solitary confinement. This is unsolved identity. A letter ceased around 1994 when Freshour was paroled. He maintained his innocence until death in 2012, and the true author was never legally confirmed. This is because these cases are based on real-world public records. Police reports and journalistic investigations. I asked it about copyright and citations. Apparently, none of this stuff is copyrighted. So, well, actually, wait a minute. Let me read here. What the hell? No copyright text requires licensing, but standard journalistic attribution applies. So I want to give you guys the sources for these in case you wanted to actually go look them up. It says the Watcher case. And this says The Cut, New York Magazine, The Haunting of a New Jersey House by Reeves Wiedemann in 2018, and Westfield Police Department Public Case Files. So those are the sources for this. And it says the Circleville Letters, Unsolved Mystery, CBS broadcast episode 6.1, 1993. And this is Pickaway County Sheriff's Office archival records. So those are the source information for those two things about the Watchers. No, Lipsha, they haven't ever figured out who it was. They haven't ever figured out who it was. Like I said, other than the letters stopping on that when that dude got out of prison. But I would think if he was sending letters from prison, they would have been able to track that pretty easily. So I don't know, unless he had somebody doing it for him. So that's a weird one. That's why I thought it was an interesting case. Like I said, so there's an unsolved mystery for us tonight that I didn't know anything about. My cat's in there messing something up, and I don't know what she's doing. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed that. Let's see. I think I'm going to play another song. Yeah, probably haven't been talking. Well, I've been talking close to 20 minutes. Yeah, I try to take a break about every 20 minutes because my voice gets all hoarse. So I appreciate everybody tuning in. So let me play another song here that I picked out. Joe Daisy said she was going to be late. She had a long drive home tonight, and I told her that was cool to be safe driving. So let me play this other song I've got picked her at, and then I'm going to talk about, I guess maybe that's a new YouTube thing with the shorts and stuff. I'm maybe going to talk a little bit about that. And that'll probably be the show for the night. But let me play this other song here, and then we'll talk some more. We'll chat. And I don't have anything else to read you guys, so we're just going to chat about whatever. Let's check on the poll here real quick before we do the... everybody voted but hadn't had a chance. Right now it's still 50-50. Half of people think Nessie's real, and half of people think Nessie's fake. So let me get this song out of the way, and then we'll come back and check on the poll here again. And like I said, then I'm going to talk about this thing going on with YouTube and the shorts and stuff, and some of the changes they're making. Because you guys are probably going to see some changes on some of the creators that you follow, some of the channels that you follow. So I was going to try to tell you guys kind of what was going on with that, and some more information I found out about it. My opinion of it. So let me hit this song here. If you want to take a bathroom break and get something to drink or smoke one or whatever you got, have at it. Let me find this other song. So this was called Anecdote. That's the name of the group. ANIKDOTE. All these songs are from NCS, no copyright songs, and the links for them are in the description. And you can download them and listen to them anytime you want. So this was called Turn It Up. I hope you guys enjoy it. For everybody tuning in, I'm Curtis Lee. This is the Gen X Files. We're going to take a quick break here, and then I'm going to talk a little bit. Then we'll wrap things up. Hey, Ornography Inc. says hi. Good to see you. Thank you for tuning in. We're going to play a song here a little bit, and then I'm going to chat a little bit. I need to rest my voice for a minute. Thank you for being here. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Let me get back here with the chat. Thanks everybody for tuning in. I'm Curtis Lee. This is the Gen X Files. The song's called Turn It Up. Cool. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed that. Like I said, that was called Turn Up. Group's called Anecdote. All right, let me close that up and I'll get back here with the chat and we'll talk about it. Hey, Redbeard, good to see you. Thank you for tuning in. So the last thing I was going to talk about tonight was I don't know how my cousin's a creator but she's just starting being a creator. My cousin Mika reads a lot. If y'all have a chance, check her channel out. She does books and spooky stuff. But anyway, the other thing I was going to talk about tonight, and people who are creators, I think, will know about this, but you, the audience, not necessarily. But it's going to affect what you guys are seeing on YouTube, I think, drastically. So here's what they did with the partner program this week. So they changed all the qualifications to become a YouTube partner to start with, basically doubled all of them. So to become a partner on long forms and live streams, you have to have 4,000 watch hours. Um, and it sounds like a lot, but it's, once you build your channel up to a certain point, it's not a crazy amount of hours. You can actually do it with a very small number of people, especially if they're people that watch all the time. Oh, thanks, Redbeard. I appreciate that. So anyway, basically what I think's happening that they've done, they changed all the requirements for getting monetized. But I think it's to kind of cut down on these AI slop channels because it's gotten too easy for them to get these things monetized, and they're just, you know, all the feeds with junk. Well, the other thing that they've done with it is, okay, if you're a shorts creator, and I'm not a shorts creator, I do make some shorts, and I have more shorts than I do long forms probably, but they aren't really my thing. Um, but I do make some shorts. Anyway, what they changed to get qualified before for shorts partnership, you had to have 10 million shorts views over 90 days, and then you were invited into the partner program if your channel was approved. Now what they've done is they've changed it to you have to have 20 million views to be eligible for the partner program, but then you also have to maintain 10 million views every 90 days to stay eligible to be paid for the partner program. So basically, what they did with the shorts is if you can't maintain 10 million shorts views a month on shorts, you won't get paid for any of them. Well, I would have a hard time getting them. I mean, I could get it, but I would have a hard time getting a million views. But no way I'd get 10 million. That's a lot. What are you investing lately? Oh, I don't know. I don't invest a whole lot of stuff. I keep my money under the woods, in the woods under a dead possum. I keep my money as close to me as I possibly can. So anyway, basically they made it so if you don't get like a whole bunch of short views, you aren't gonna get paid for any of them. So for people like me that mostly do long form videos, streams and kind of dabble in shorts, there's not really any point in making them. Probably still will make some, but I'll kind of just use them as like teasers for the live streams and stuff, and not really focus on trying to be a shorts channel because I never make that many shorts anyway where I can get that many views, and I don't really like shorts anyway, so I just don't see the point in making them. But I will still make some. Well, I'm sorry, Redbeard. I don't really invest. It's just not my thing. The money I do have is in, like just I'm not risky. I can't risk my money. Oh, investigating. I'm sorry. Well, that's a big difference. I'll tell you what, Redbeard, my life is an investigation. Now, my house isn't haunted though, so that's a good thing. My space is peaceful here, but pretty much everywhere around me is haunted. So all I got to do is walk out, walk out of my yard. I live in the Shenandoah Valley. Basically, the entire thing was a big battlefield. So, my opinion is there's pretty much ghosts everywhere. Well, there's been a lot of fighting going. A lot of America's history happened here. So there's quite a few cemeteries, and there's cemeteries that people don't know about. And I'm also Monacan, and there's Indian burial mounds here that my Monacan ancestors are buried in. So it's an energetic place. There's been a lot going on here for a long time. No, I haven't gone on any investigations recently, but I was thinking about doing a big one this fall, maybe investigating um, what's called the Blackburn Inn in Stanton now, which is actually the old Western State Hospital, and then they turned it into a hotel. So I thought about doing that. I think they're everywhere all around us, but some spots are. Yeah, and like I said, places where there've been like battles and stuff. Like I said, everything here is a battlefield. So they're just kind of hanging out, wandering around, doing their thing. Oh, great. Yeah, I mean, I still enjoy it. I just haven't. If somebody would invite me, I'd probably go. But I don't really get it. I don't really get. I don't recommend anybody go stand alone. That's a no no. That's a no no for me. If you're gonna go do anything, don't go alone. Have somebody with you. Oh, I'm sure there's a lot of cool places in Texas. Texas has quite a history as well. So there's a lot of American history that happened down there as well. So I'm sure it's energetic. Well, if I ever make it out to Texas, um, I'll look you up. But so yeah, anyway, I was thinking about investigating the Blackburn Hotel. I thought that might be kind of an interesting investigation. And so basically, they've got some big suites that are like multiple rooms that were like whole wards that they've turned into like fancy hotel rooms. So I was thinking about renting one of the suites, which would give me a couple of rooms and one of the original bathrooms. I thought that'd be cool. So I thought I might actually do that around or on Halloween. I gotta look at the calendar and see what date it is and see if it would work out for a live stream. Well, I guess I could do a live stream whatever night it is. It doesn't really matter. So that was one thing I thought about investigating. And then I was on Facebook today, and one of my cousins tagged me in a post that was about somebody looking for haunted places in Virginia. I think they were mostly looking for stuff around Lynchburg, but I don't really know much about the Lynchburg area. Because I don't live on that side of the mountain. I live over here in the valley. So the places I suggested in the Shenandoah Valley relates back to the Civil War, and it's a place again that's an inn, the Wayside Inn in Middletown, Virginia. There's a Civil War battlefield and a cemetery right down the road, and that place historically has had hauntings since the Civil War, and there's a lot of documented evidence for it. So that's pound for pound. It's one of the most haunted places in Virginia, and it's one of those places where you hear stuff talking. You don't really have to have any equipment. It could be scary. Oh, it is a Saturday night. Well, that'd be perfect for me to do a Gen X Files live stream from. Well, I'll try to plan on doing that then. Let me look into finding out how much a room is. And the other interesting thing about the Blackburn is there's an old cemetery there that was there from when it was a mental facility, and it's one of the oldest. It might be the oldest mental facility in the country because it was built like somewhere between 1824 and 1828. And there's multiple cemeteries associated with um, the institution. And then after it was a mental facility, it was a prison for quite a long time too. Yeah, anything that's in Houston. There's a lot of places to try. Yeah, anything where there's been a lot of trauma like that, a lot of times, um, seem to be places um, that might be haunted. And I think it was Thursday night stream. Yeah, I think it was Thursday night stream. And I've done other stuff about residual hauntings before, and time slips. I don't know that some of these experiences people have and some of the things we're able to record as paranormal investigators um, don't have something to do with time slips or, I've got this like kinetoscope theory, which is like, time is like basically like a deck of cards and each moment is basically stacked on top of each other. So when you're looking at time, you're not looking like it's some long line. You're basically looking at a stack of papers laid on top of each other. And I think there actually might be some scientific basis for that. So that's kind of why I think that way. Yeah, any place that there's been floods and like bad traumas and stuff is usually pretty energetic. Civil War battles, airplane crashes. It seems to just be part of the thing. And like I said, I don't know if it's the energy is just so intense that it just like imprints itself on history basically. But I've kind of got this view that um, times that existed before are still there, and the future is out there too. But the future isn't necessarily set. Oh, what I'm talking about? Well, I appreciate that. Thank you. So anyway, that's what I was thinking. That's what I was thinking about doing was doing like a Halloween um, episode with at the hotel. And then I thought maybe if I did one like next year, I might do one early like next year. Because the good thing about the Wayside Inn is in January after the holiday season. They're really busy at Christmas and all. But in January, this is like, this place is like over 200 years old, and it's like cold, even in the winter. It's hard to keep a place warm. So I thought, so anyway, there, not a whole lot of people stay there in January. That was when I investigated it, like back in 2014. So I thought about going there and doing a revisit and maybe picking a different room, because there's supposed to be multiple rooms at that place that are fairly active. Um, and the last time I did a suite that was upstairs, and a room that was upstairs, suite that was upstairs, and I was thinking this time maybe I'd do something back kind of in the um, old part of the inn, which is on the other side. Shenandoah Valley, Augusta County, Virginia. I'm right off. I'm like, how far? I'm probably like 5-6 miles away from the Appalachian Trail. I can see the Blue. I go out one side of my yard and I can see the Blue Ridge Mountains. I go out on the other side of my yard and I can see the Alleghenies. So I'm right plop in the middle of it. So yeah, like I said, I was thinking about, and the other place I thought going right here, and I keep not doing it. It's been too hot, but I'll do it here when it starts cooling off a little bit. And that's the Battle of Piedmont here in New Hope. And there's a marker in a big parking area in a big field that you can get out and walk around. That was part of the battlefield, and I'm not sure it's not one of the communities up there. The road going to it's called Battlefield Road. Um, so anyway, there's a place I thought about going there and ghost hunting because, like I said, it's right over the road. But it's been too hot and I haven't wanted to do it. I would say some of them are. I mean, I've got my own opinion on like the wood booger. I think the wood booger is my Monacan ancestors kind of guarding the woods. Because like my great grandfather was like 6'8" and wore a size 18 shoe. And all my cousin, one of my cousins, my first cousin Rob, and all his boys are like great big old dudes. They're all like 6'8", 6'9". And as far as I know, all the people, my grandfather was a big guy too. As far as I know, all the guys leading to me were like really big. So I honestly think that the what the in the woods is like shadows of my ancestors. Basically, I don't think it's actually a creature. So that's my opinion on the woodbugger. He's our regional Bigfoot, and as far as I know, he's the only monster we have around here. We were bad enough. Oh, the knot deer. Hey, I'm going to look that up because I do not know what a knot deer is. I hadn't heard, and I don't know. I don't know everything. I'm gonna write that down. I'm gonna write that down. We're gonna talk about that next time. A knot here, or not deer. Let me write that. I have. Can you tell us what a knot deer? My pen doesn't write. Can you tell us what a knot deer is, real quick, in the chat? I'd appreciate it, and then we'll look it up and talk about it next week. Knot deer. I had two little baby deer in my yard today. They were drinking water out of the water. Both of them had spots. They look pretty healthy and pretty chill though. I think mom and them big deers were off over in the big field, and they stayed over here in my yard. But they were over drinking water and eating clover. They seemed pretty content. I've never been to the Appalachian Mountains. Okay, well we'll check. I'll check a knot deer out because I hadn't heard that one. I did a Thursday night stream about Appalachian monsters, but that wasn't one of the ones that I looked. So we'll find out. We'll find out about the knot deer and do that on the next. Well, I appreciate everybody tuning in. Well, that's probably all I had for the show this week. I appreciate everybody showing up. And yeah, I think that's it. Thank you guys for being here. I'll be back Thursday night. Did I ever finish about the shorts thing? I think I did. Anyway, yeah, they're not paying for shorts, so I'm not going to be making a whole bunch of them. And if you're a creator, I wouldn't advise making them either unless you make really good ones where you think you can get 10 million views. It's like 3.33 to infinity million views every month, and I just don't see that as doable for the average person. Well, that's not probably sound really. Well, that's the apple. It probably sounds. I don't know, those Appalachians and. Well, both sides of the mountain count, in my view. And don't the Appalachians run a big chain? Yeah, that's fair. You're an Appalachian. That's the other side of it. Well, good night, Liv. I do a show on Thursday night at 10 o'clock. And it's called Appalachia After Dark. So I'm going to look up the not deer, and that'll be um, something we can talk about Thursday night. Let me check the poll here real quick and see what our final vote was. All right, we had 64% vote that they thought Nessie was something real, and then 36% say that they thought Nessie wasn't real. So most people think Nessie is real. Like I said, I think it's some kind of big eel or snake or something that we just haven't managed to catch yet. So that's my opinion. Oh, you're a Texan. Oh, but you live up. Okay, yeah. People move around. I haven't moved very far. I've been in the same place for a long time. Well, thank you guys. Y'all have a good night. Like I said, if you have a chance, tune in Thursday night to Appalachia After Dark, and we'll talk about the not deer because, like I said, that's the one I hadn't heard about before. So I'm going to look that up. Thank you guys so much, and y'all have a good night. Oh, hey, Joe Daisy. Oh man, we're just getting offline, Joe Daisy. I was getting ready to sign off. Well, we can chat a few minutes. Lipshire was here, although they might have signed off by now. My cousin's back. My cousin Mika's back. Lord. Well, at least we all got to say hi to you. Everybody say hi to Joe Daisy. She's our moderator, one of our moderators. And she said she had a long trip home tonight, and whether she'd get here or not. Well, I'm glad you made it right before the end. We had quite a talk tonight and talked about Loch Ness Monster and The Watchers, which is a story I wasn't familiar with because I never saw the TV show. And Lipshire tossed out one of the stories that went along with Watchers before I had even said it. Oh, there's the Judaism. That's a running joke, cuz. That's a running joke, cuz. Every time everybody tries to type Joe Daisy's name on the phone, it changes it to Judaism. Well, I'm glad we got that. I'm glad we got that in before the end of the night. I'm glad we got that in before the end of the night. Well, that's a perfect way to end the show then. Everybody getting to say hi to Joe Daisy. Well, like I said, Joe Daisy, I think we had a pretty good show. We missed you being here. Glad you made it safe. So, like I said, I was just getting ready to tune on. I appreciate everybody being here. But sign off. I think I am going to sign off now. I don't have anything else to talk about. So if you, oh, I'm sorry, Joe Daisy. Well, I probably should. I had said that I was going to start trying to do them longer. Good Lord, I thought I'd get more out of the stuff that I had to talk about. I'm never sure when I get the information I'm going to talk to you guys about how long it's going to take. Yeah, mine's an Android. It does the same thing. When I was on Ben's live stream at one night typing, chat with you, every time I try to type your name, it changes it to that, and I have to fix it before I hit send. All right, we'll give you a quick update, Joe Daisy. We talked about Loch Ness Monster, the Watchers, and the deal with the new deal with the YouTube Shorts. And like I said, my cousin Mika's up, just starting her channel. So y'all check out her channel if you get a chance and subscribe. She's gonna need some help getting going, and she's gonna do like books and spooky stuff. So you guys will enjoy it. Yeah, I can never come up with enough stuff to go 2 hours. I can play another song. We can chat a little bit. I can play another song. We can chat a little bit. You want to do that? just so you don't have to jump off just yet. All right, I'll play a song. All right, well, I'll play another song. There was a song that I played like last week or maybe the week before that Joe Daisy said she liked. So I'll play that song and we'll chat a little bit, and then I'll sign off. All right, does that sound cool? Let's see. I'll have to remember to add this one to the. Here, let's play my other. I got to turn my speaker back on. Let me do that. I turned it off. I actually turned it off. It didn't cut off on me on its own this time. Usually cuts off on me on its own. Wait, I'm on the wrong thing. Let's see. I got to disconnect it because it won't reconnect on its own for some reason. Pair it again. All right.
Connected.
There we go. Here, let me play my. Here, we'll play my voices moaning clip, which I forgot to play earlier. Well, actually, I meant to play it on the live show, like the ghost night, since I didn't get to play it the other night. And then while that's playing, I'm going to look for the song because I moved it. All right, the song. All right, I found the song. Well, they sound like they're having a terrible time, don't they? They sound like they're just having an awful time. All right, let's scroll them all. All right, let's play this song. This is a song Joe Daisy said she liked. Joe Daisy's our moderator. Everybody thank Joe Daisy for being here. What the heckle? Do you want? We can't. Yeah. All right. So this is a song Joe Daisy said she liked. It's called "The Light," and it's from Tetra Bass and Vila. I'll have to add it to the. All right. Better? My phone's probably 1,000 degrees. It gets hot when I do these live streams. Might be. We were talking about Grandpa Hope. He might have showed up. Well, thanks everybody for tuning in. I appreciate y'all hanging out. This has been fun. Play Johnny Cash. No, I can't play any copyrighted stuff on here. I'll get knocked down. They'll shut me down. All right. thank you guys. I appreciate it. That was let's check on the poll here and see what our votes are. All right, we ended up in Nessie. Is Nessie something real? 64%, and is Nessie not real? 36%. And if you're watching and you haven't voted yet, go ahead and vote on this poll, and then we'll finish out. Yeah, old timers mostly know what is up. I'm a little wacky. I don't know that I'm always the best source of advice, but I try. I try. Well, I appreciate everybody tuning in. Like I said, all right, let's end this poll. All right, I can't remember if you were here or not, Joe Daisy, but Redbeard suggested something we can talk about on Thursday night stream, and that's whatever a knot deer is. And I do not know what a knot deer is, but we're going to find out. And I saw two little deer out here in my yard today. They were cute as they could be. They both had spots on them, and they were out here drinking out of the water fountain and eating clover in the backyard. So they were cute. I don't know where the parents were. I think they were up in the wood. All right, well, thanks everybody for voting. Or Elvis. Yeah, it might be Elvis too. Well, like I said, this has been fun. I appreciate everybody. And you guys have a good night, and come back Thursday for Appalachia After Dark. Like I said, we're going to talk about what the knot deer are, and then I don't know what else. We'll have to see what happens in the news this week to see if we've got anything goofy to talk about. So much love to everybody. Appreciate it. You guys have a good night, and like I said, hopefully you can be back Thursday.